Are you also sometimes in a situation where you feel like you're struggling and are not winning financially, or it's very difficult to get ahead financially? Today we are going to cover exactly this topic. Hello and welcome. At My First Million, my name is Peter B, and I welcome you here where we are working together to achieve our financial goals together. Today is a little bit another topic compared to my previous videos, and nevertheless I think it's equally important, as maybe it's not even though it's maybe not a very happy topic. And I also want to bring up this topic is also because I'm recently in a situation where I feel like, although I'm having a YouTube channel focusing on personal finance, I'm also somehow recently struggling financially. And I will talk about this a little bit more in detail. But what I want to cover here is basically two things. First, we need to understand that the system where we are in. And then second, what we can do to get out of the system. And for the second step, I will also explain my very personal situation where I'm currently in, more in detail, and dive into that also a little bit more in detail as an example for hopefully every one of you out there. So first, the very basics. Let me quickly show you the very basics. I have already shown this in several other videos, the wealth cycle. This is the very basic of personal finance, and basically all that we need to know in order to win financially. For the wealth cycles works as follows, just as a quick recap. We have earnings, then we have spendings, and if you subtract the spendings from the earnings, you will get your savings. And then, what are you doing with the savings? You put them into investments. So if you're investing, of course, the goal is that you get a positive rate of return out of your investments. And over time, this positive rate of return should also then increase your earnings. So maybe you have a active salary, you go to work, have a monthly income, which is your active salary, and then you also earn passively over time, more and more from your investments. So if you earn more and spend less, then you should have savings. Of course, if you earn less than you spend and spend much more than you earn, then maybe you have negative savings. So the goal is here to increase earnings as much as possible, decrease spendings as much as possible in order to get a very high savings rate, and then use these savings and put them into investments. So the reason why we are struggling sometimes in life, at least financially, is because sometimes this positive wealth cycle gets broken. So I want to focus on, as an example, on my situation first, and then I will also cover potential other situations, what maybe other people out there are going through. My personal situation is recently investing. My investments since a year or so are not going very well. Of course, if you take a look at the news now, this is somehow understandable. This year has been so far, now when I'm recording this video is at the beginning of October. So this year so far has been one of the worst since not just the past few years, but since decades. And in some statistics even need to go back many decades in order to find a year that started off so badly like this year. So the timing for investment is not good already for a long time. I'm not a high income earner, but I earn pretty decent. And I really not only myself but also my wife, we try to live very frugally in order so that we can save as much as possible and get fast towards our goals of financial independence. Not necessarily early retirement. That's a potential thing that we might take into consideration in the future, but our main goal is now, as for now, financial independence. So we try to earn at least more and really try to live very frugal. So we are giving up on many pleasures in life, I would say, in order just to have more savings. And we very much in our situation like to do so because we feel like it's the right thing to do. However, what's happening for us is that with the market downturn, also our investments are crashing down. And although we are saving money each month and can put money into investments each month, our net worth is declining. It's even not flattening out. So what happened since 1 year? Our savings are even not covering our losses from investments. And so even though we try to save more for the past 1 year or even a little bit more than 1 year, maybe now, our investments is going down, and as a result, even our total net worth are going down. So I think that's quite of a struggle recently, at least psychologically for us, is doing the best that we can, but seeing that it's not getting better. Instead, it's getting worse, and it's like the feeling is like we are going away, further away from our goal of financial independence. So now I think there's a solution to this, but I quickly want to cover maybe other situations that maybe other people out there are facing. Some people are maybe facing earning issues. So again, usually if you struggle financially, it's usually because something is broken here. For me, recently the investing part is broken, at least for the past year. Before we see our net worth increasing, but since 1 year it's going down. So for other people, maybe something else is broken on this wealth cycle. It could be the earnings, it could be the spendings, or as a result of any of the two, or maybe even both of the two, it could be the savings. For the earnings, it could be that maybe you lost your job. Maybe you need to, for some reasons, need to suffer some cutbacks in your earnings. Maybe you are facing health conditions that you cannot do your previous job, but maybe need to cut back in your efforts. So there are many people out there having issues with their earnings, and many times it's not because they do something wrong, because they're lazy or because they are not hardworking. Many times they do all the right things, but sometimes just an unfortunate situation is hitting them. So this could be one thing. Maybe ideally or hopefully this is only temporarily, that maybe if you lost your job and don't have any earnings or needed to cut back your earnings for a while, that you can compensate for this as soon as possible. Maybe find a good job or even a better job than before, or find other ways to increase your earnings. Then another thing could be the spendings, that maybe the spendings are broken. Maybe also maybe you're just not so careful yet and you earned a lot, so maybe the spendings didn't really were waiting in so much, but maybe with low earnings, maybe spendings also the high spending start weighing down on you. So many people just need to cut back in certain situations on the spending side. However, I think most of the situation, if something is broken here, if it's a spending, either it's your lifestyle or it's again an unfortunate event. If it's your lifestyle, just try to improve, to reduce your spendings according to what you can afford as well as possible. However, if it's an unfortunate event, there are people out there, and my heart goes out to you, to whoever is in this kind of situation. It could be that you got hit with a not planned bill. It could be again like a medical situation with a high medical bill that you suddenly need to pay off. It could be that your car broke down and you were not expecting that, and you need to get a replacement for your car. So as your spending maybe got a huge hit as a result, maybe you're not saving money, maybe you're even losing money in a period of time. So, and maybe again, there are other people in similar situations like me, that they are not doing very well in investments, and hopefully it's only for a period of time. Hopefully you didn't just, you only live once, YOLO, all your money into a cryptocurrency or a highly speculative asset. And nothing against cryptocurrency. I as well am holding several cryptocurrency, but mainly the major ones. But if you're not doing well, sometimes it's because you were too much concentrated in one asset and take too much risks. Sometimes you're also in a situation like me, where even though maybe you're pretty well diversified, the whole market is going in a downturn, and therefore also are in a struggle for a period of time. So, as said, there are many ways, there could be many reasons why someone is struggling financially. It could be earnings, it could be spendings, it could be earnings minus spendings don't generate enough savings, it could be something wrong with the investment. So there are many reasons out there. How to fix this situation is identify the reason why you're struggling. And as long as you optimize the whole wealth cycle as well as possible, try to improve your earning situation again. Try to reduce your spending again. Try to save more. Try to do well in investments, but also do investments. If you improve, at least try to work on improving the wealth cycles, you will see over time, over a longer period of time, you will still win financially. Maybe you'll struggle again short term, unexpectedly. But over time, if you just trust the system, I think this is the key word for today's video. You need to have trust in the system that the wealth cycle is working. That long term, if you trust in the system and try to improve each aspects, earnings, spendings, savings, and investments in the wealth cycle, that long term you will also win financially. So, just trust the system, basically. For me, it's the same. Although my investments are not doing very well, I need to trust that what I'm doing is right. Try to save more. And even though now currently I'm losing money, that I need to trust the system that money that I'm deploying continuously into the market, into trying to find good investments, maybe also diversified investments, that over long term, the market is recovering again and coming up again. And over the very long term, it doesn't matter whether or not I went through a downturn for 1, 2, or potentially even 3 years. But over the long term, it's still the right strategy to do, and it will still help us to win financially. So, just as a result, trust in the system. I need to trust in the system that what I'm doing now is right, and it will help me in the future. And to be honest, the system works. If I compare on a year-to-year basis, my financial situation doesn't look very good. It's okay, my financial situation is stable, but the performance doesn't look very good. However, if I go back 2 years or 3 years, not just compare it to last year, I would say I did pretty well in just sticking to improving the wealth cycle. And at that time, comparing to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my net worth still has a very nice performance. And if I need to go back even longer, it's even better than that. So trust in the system. Maybe please write down below if you are struggling in any area. I'm also wondering maybe how can I help people watching this channel more. Therefore, I can also maybe cover those areas more where people are struggling in. And I believe that if you can optimize the health cycle, you will win financially in the long run. Also, thank you very much for being here today to listen to my story. It's good to put this out there and share it with all of you. Yeah, I look forward to see you again to the next video, and especially I look forward to see you winning financially.